Hello. I've been catching lots of coho lately. My catching rate has been drastically improved over past years. And I'd like to share some of my personal experience. Hopefully can help those who is still struggling catching cohos. I met a few of them last few weeks. By no means my method or my methodology is the best or it's the right one. It's just my personal one that gave me the confidence to go out to catch the cohos. I think everybody will probably agree to catch a fish, or catch specifically coho, the best time is during their feeding time. So in order to understand when will be the good time to go out and have a high percentage catch rate, we need to understand their feeding habits. That's just my personal understanding and analysis. In order to understand that, we have to understand the bait that swim in the Puget Sound and how they are impacted by currents. The salmon, in fish in general, like to, especially salmon, before going to fresh water to spawn, they need to feed a lot to gain energy. And another aspect is to consume less energy while feeding. So that's a key attribute of a coho salmon. So let's take a look at a tide chart. I'm drawing here. Okay, I will just trace what I draw. So when will be a easy catch, easy feeding time for salmon, for coho? So top chart is the tide chart. I got a tide here, time lapse, and basically it's a low tide to high tide or from slack to slack. Okay, high tide to low tide doesn't make any difference. And then let's map that into current chart. That's the current in terms of speed, and that's a time lapse. So during the slack tide, current is zero velocity, zero speed. And as the tide rise or fall, the speed will pick up, reach the highest, fastest current midway, and then it will slow down again until it reaches the slack tide and the speed will go to zero. All right, so I will just draw the curve this way. Okay, so let's look at how the bait fish behave. During the slack tide, the bait fish pretty much in control. They can swim anywhere they go, so they are pretty much scattered, and that period it will be harder for coho to have an effective feeding because you need to swim a lot to find fish here and there, versus if they're just going after a school of baits, more effective. So during the slack tide, my theory is the coho doesn't feed that much. They will feed, but they don't feed that much because it will acquire more energy for them to feed. And then when the current speed changes, right? So to a certain point, the current speed is getting the bait fish out of control. Probably the current speed is faster than how the bait fish can swim. So they are very much being pushed around by current. So I would call that point right here. And to a point that get to the fastest current. So during this period, the salmon or the coho understand they're a smart animal. They understand they don't feed, but they need to feed. So they've been waiting for the time the current pick up, and then they can detect the bait fish in schools, and they start to fish. And they typically, in my experience, they will fish for a couple of hours. They will feed for a couple of hours, right? So a couple of hour window. So I call that a current speed up window. My theory is 2 hours after the slack tie to 4 hours. That 2 hour window is very good for me. And then let's look at the slow down period, right? So the current start to slow down here, and the 2 hours before the slack tie, current get to 0 to 15 minutes before the slack tie, I found that also very good. So the bait fish has been very tired throughout the process during the slowdown, and then they need to recover. So they start to recover speed and control, probably like very short period of time before the slack tie, right? And then they get into slack tie to recoup. So I found 2 hours during the slow down time, 2 hours before the slack tie to 15 minutes before slack tie. It's pretty productive for me. All right. So I usually, before I go out, I look at the tide and determine the time window I want to fish to be more productive and to catch more fish. That's my experience, and it's not right or wrong. It's just the way I fish, the time I choose to fish to be productive. Okay, thanks for watching.